I get asked the question, when do I need to revise my estate plan all the time? The answer to that question is generally going to be when something happens to your people. I say that your people are the most fragile part of any estate plan. A change in the law could, if you were really wealthy, require you to update your estate plan, or if you had a new wish or a new family member or a new family entirely, those kinds of things will force an estate update as well. But the thing that most people don't understand about when they don't need to update a trust is when they add or delete property from the trust. You don't necessarily have to revise that trust unless you were specifically doing something with that asset. Let's imagine that you owned a Ferrari, and that Ferrari is going to go to your nephew when you die. That's what you put in your plan. However, when you die, you no longer own that Ferrari. And when the trust doesn't own the property that's being distributed, that gift fails. So obviously that's the kind of thing that requires an estate update. And if you get remarried and have stepchildren or new common children, then you would have to do an estate update as well. But adding or deleting property from a living trust most of the time does not force an estate update, because what we typically do is we distribute the trust residue into shares. Typically, those are proportional shares. For instance, the most common fact pattern is in equal shares to my then living issue per sturdies, my children in equal shares, basically. When that trust is going to be distributed, it's going to be divided into equal shares according to the residual distribution of the trust and distributed accordingly. So you don't have to worry about updating your trust if you buy a new house or sell an existing house or move into a new house. You have other things to worry about, but you don't have to worry about updating the trust per se, because the residual distribution, if it's still good, will apply to that asset. It's just a general pot that everything gets put into that's left over after taxes, hospital bills, funeral, other costs of administration, other debts, and after satisfying specific bequests. Everything that's left over is called the residue. It's residual. And so that's how the trust will be distributed. And it doesn't matter what's in that pot, it gets divided and distributed. If you do need to revise your trust, we will be happy to help you and speed well along. Reach out to us today.